Okay, someone had asked me just recently about the property tax in St. Kitts. I've gone through this quite a bit on the property tax, but I wanted to make a mention to you because most people don't realize this, that you can literally have no property tax. I didn't say income tax. There's no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax in St. Kitts and Nevis. But you can actually avoid the property tax, okay? In other words, and pay no property tax at all. The only thing you have to do is you have to pick a property that's $29,600 or under. And there's loads of properties like that. In fact, I was just talking to a lady the other day, a friend of mine. She bought a property for around 9,000 US. It's got really great ocean views, fantastic ocean views. And she paid 9,000 US dollars for it. Now, that's not in a planned unit development, but God, for $9,000 in a country that has no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax, and then to be able to pay no property tax, that's incredible. But what I want to talk to you today is the differences, because I still have so many people talking to me about Turkey and St. Kitts. I'll be honest with you, I don't want to insult anybody, but I think people are... if you know the differences in both of them and you pick Turkey over St. Kitts, you've got to be incredibly foolish. I'm going to go through the differences between the two countries today just to give you an idea why you would never pick a Turkish passport over a St. Kitts and Nevis passport. You really have to be out of your minds if you really sit down and analyze the picture on this. First of all, Turkey... passport, when you take the difference between the two of them, one of the biggest things you got to look at is the taxes. Again, St. Kitts doesn't have income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax. In fact, no property tax if you get the properties under 29,600 US dollars. But even if it's over that, just the overage on the 29,600, you're only going to pay 0.20%, which is almost nothing. I mean, it's even if you get $1 million house, the property tax is almost nothing. You're going to end up paying more than that in Turkey. And also, Turkey's got a tax bracket as high as 40%. I don't know why anybody's leaving a high-tax country trying to get citizenship somewhere else. And one reason they're doing it is because of taxes. And then they pick Turkey. To me, that's just foolish. But, people just don't think about this stuff when they do it. Another big thing is Turkey's got a dictator that runs the country. Do you want that type situation? I've told people, in fact, I'll be honest with you, I think the situation's worse there as far as dictatorship and lack of freedom than it is in Dubai. But people still end up doing this. They get these passports and they don't look at stuff like this. You want a place that has a freely elected government where there's no corruption in the voting system. Visa-free travel, this is another option. St. Kitts has got 162 visa-free or visa-free on arrival countries and territories that you can go to. Turkey only has 110. That's a huge difference. I mean, you're looking at roughly around right around 50, around 50 countries difference that you're looking at on visa-free or visa-free on arrival countries and territories that you can travel to. That's a huge difference. That saves you a lot of time and hassle in traveling. And remember that Turkey doesn't even have visa-free, the Schengen countries, and I don't understand that because they've applied for EU membership. You would think they would at least have visa-free to those countries since they've applied for EU membership. All right, but you're going to have to remember that's going to be a disadvantage in itself, which I'm going to get to that in just a minute. Another thing, I did a video on Turkey a while back. You really need to look at that video because it went a lot in detail on the Turkish lira. I'm not going to go a lot in detail today other than telling you, if you go back, you can pull this up on Wikipedia, just pull up Turkish lira, and you can go and you can look at, you can actually see the rate of return that the lira has constantly fallen. You can go back over 60 years, even before the lira was in existence, and it has constantly been a free fall ever since you can track it. I mean, this is how bad it is. But people just continuously, but by the way, I like picking currencies that have been beat up for valuation purposes that are turnaround plays. You're not going to see that with the lira. It has constantly been dropping, and I don't see this thing changing. And this is something you're going to have to think about. Remember, the EC dollar in St. Kitts is tied to the U.S. dollar, 2.7 EC dollars for every U.S. dollar, but it tracks with the U.S. dollar. That's the key to this. Now, and we hear a lot of criticisms with the U.S. dollar, but I'm going to tell you something. Most of the big investors in the world are picking the dollar over the lira. I can tell you that. The lira has constantly fallen. Weather's another example. I'll tell you something. I've been all over the world. I can't find any place where the weather is as good as it is in St. Kitts and Nevis. You're going to have cold weather. Maybe you like cold weather. I don't like it like you'd have in Turkey. But the great thing is you got more outdoor activities that you can do all year round in St. Kitts. You can go sailing, you can go water skiing, snorkeling, you can do golf, tennis, all kinds of activities you can do outside all year round. That there's times of the year that's too cold to do it in Turkey, or you probably wouldn't want to do it. And that can actually make you live longer. We got a lot of older people in St. Kitts and Nevis. I was telling a story where we had a lady that was 110 years old, and she had a daughter that was 90 years old. Now, I have people that go on the internet pulling up the average age of a person that dies in St. Kitts. That's totally inaccurate. There's a lot of poor people in St. Kitts that don't eat right, and that skews that figure. But I can tell you something, there are loads of people in St. Kitts and Nevis that have that live to be over 100 years old. I mean, I've seen it. I've read about these people. I mean, it's just incredible. A lot of it has to do with the way you eat and exercise, and you can eat really good fruits and vegetables all year round in St. Kitts. That's the big key thing that I like. They have some of the best mangoes of any place in the world that I've been. Philippines has got good fruit, but I'm going to tell you, but it doesn't have as good as the Caribbean, especially in St. Kitts. Now, Turkey has applied for EU membership status. That's a big disadvantage in my opinion, because I think that's going to lead to a possible citizenship or taxation based on citizenship later. I have no doubt that I think it's going to happen in my lifetime, where the EU, and they've actually even talked about it, I think they're going to do it, is they're going to start taxing its citizens based on their citizenship, not their residency. So if you've got that EU, if you've got a country you have citizenship in that happens to be EU member, and I can tell you if Turkey gets that membership, and then all of a sudden the EU comes out and starts taxing citizens on their worldwide income, I'm going to tell you something. In every case, the U.S. is a good example. When they come out with these change of laws, they do not grandfather you. They make it retroactive, which means you would probably have to pay a hefty exit tax to get out of the picture, because the government is keen. They're not going to go out here and tell you they're going to come out with this tax ahead of time and they're going to hit you retroactive. They don't tell you stuff like this because they lose a lot in taxes from doing that. So you need to plan ahead of time in trying to plan on this. The great thing about St. Kitts is they don't have an income tax. They don't plan on having it. Both parties don't want it, much rather being taxed on your worldwide income or taxation based on citizenship. You're never going to see it in St. Kitts, I can tell you. Also, if you're from the U.S. or Canada, one of the big key things that's nice about St. Kitts is you're looking at a 3 to 4 hour flight if you live on the East Coast. If you're from the East Coast of the USA, that's a big key thing that I like. That's really nice. You can, if you have kids that are still in the U.S. or Canada, you can fly back, in a half a day. It just takes you no time, and there are direct flights back to the U.S. You have direct flights to Canada, New York City, Atlanta, North Carolina, and Florida. And so, I mean, these are some really big advantages that people don't think about. Whereas if you're from those areas and you're trying to go to Turkey and you're from the U.S. or Canada, you're looking at least 2 to 3 times more in distance travel. Another key thing is crypto. For instance, like right now, the Turkish passport, you're looking at on the real estate option $400,000. But there are other fees on top of that. We've got a building developer, and he's extended out this time period actually to April now, where they're picking up all your government fees, background check fees, and legal fees, which you would have to pay for that in Turkey, okay, on top of the $400,000. You don't have that with this particular situation because this guy will actually pick up all those fees. Man, that's a lot of money. You're talking about literally thousands and thousands of dollars. And that's with a country that has a great passport, a lot better passport than Turkey, and a lot more visa-free travel than Turkey also. So, I mean, these are some things that I would be really looking at. Plus the fact now Turkey, St. Kitts is a lot more crypto-friendly. St. Kitts now is coming out, they think it's going to be in March, hopefully for approval with Bitcoin Cash. It will be legal tender in St. Kitts and Nevis. And we're already getting people that are making payments in crypto for almost everything. And this is a great thing. You don't have that in Turkey. And that's it's just a lot more crypto-friendly in St. Kitts. In fact, St. Kitts now is probably one of the best or the best crypto-friendly places in the world right now per capita. Folks, if you want to learn more on this, again, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button at the right of your screen right here, and you get new videos automatically as they come out. We got just under 900 videos, and I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.